Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newbury Racecourse here on Saturday. It is May the 18th, 2019. I'm going to look at the stakes races on the program from Newbury, including the Lockinge Stakes. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for racecourses around the world. Also, check out my Preakness Day preview video here on YouTube. And also, if you're interested, there's a great fixture today from Auteuil in France. They have the Stayers Hurdle today and some great racing also tomorrow. Well, previews and selection for those cards here on YouTube. Also, but today's card, the Lockinge from Newbury, it's just a great day of racing, and you have some great stakes races, and we're going to look at it. So the races I'll be looking at are races 1, 2, and 4, the 150, the 225, and the 340, the featured Lockinge. So let's get on to it. The first race, the 150, it's the Rayyan Stakes. It's listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $89,500. Race for 3-year-olds only. We have a field of 12 horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Cone Check. I'm going to go 5, 4, 12 in the Cash Trifecta. 5, 4, 12, Cash Trifecta. That's basically my top 3. Say Cone Check is withdrawn or scratched. My top selection then would be to the 4-horse Cadem. That's how I do my Tricast, but the top selection, 5-horse Cone Check. This 3-year-old colt by Lethal Force. Adam Kirby gets the leg up for Clive Cox. The horse's most recent outing came 18 days ago on the 1st of May at Ascot. Firm ground, 6 furlongs in the Commonwealth Trial Stakes. He finished third by 4.5 lengths behind Calix, who just had an unbelievable run that day. Didn't have to really be used. This horse first off the break, it was a tough spot, and he just couldn't get into it. It wasn't the day to win. I think coming back to Newbury today, drier conditions from his last time here, I just think he'll run a lot better. Like I said, the last time he was here, it was on soft ground back on the 22nd of September. 6 furlongs in the Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes. He ran absolute crap. He finished 6th by 17 lengths behind Cassar, and he just did not like that wet going. It wasn't the day to win. If there's a torrential downpour and he's going to get soft ground today, I would be scared, but hopefully with dry ground today he'll just improve off that last run. Before that, he ran the 8th of September at Kempton, 6 furlongs in the Group 3 Serenia Stakes, and he finished 4th by 5 1/4 lengths. Had a little bit of a turn of foot, but again, it wasn't the day to win. And then a Goodwood on the 2nd of August, 6 furlongs in the Group 2 Richmond Stakes. He finished 4th by 1.5 lengths. He just kind of weakened out of it in the final half furlong there. And then the July Stakes at Newmarket, 6 furlongs. He ran a very good second place finish behind Advertise. And again, he kept on going, had a little bit of turn of foot. He stayed well, and then ran a Royal Ascot in the Group 2 Norfolk, where he finished 5th by 2 lengths behind Shang, and, I think I added a little too many Shangs there, but, this horse, he just never got into it, never quickened. It wasn't the day to win, but he's only won once. That was his career debut, but since then, he's always run these good races, then he'll run these shit races. I think he's in the right spot, not facing the group quality horses, back to a listed stakes, good wide post draw. At 12-1, I think it's going to be his day, so I'll take him as a top selection. So to recount my selection for the first 150 from Newbury to Rayyan Stakes, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Cone Check. I'm going to go 5, 4, 12 in the Cash Trifecta. To race number 2, the 225, it is the Group 3 Rayyan Stakes. It's a Group 3 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $128,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. 7 horses are going the 2,400 meters or 1.5 miles on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to cope out with the 2-horse Crystal Ocean. I think this veteran should get the trip well, and I think he'll run well. I'm going to go 2, 6, 1 in the Cash Trifecta. 2, 6, 1, Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 2-horse Crystal Ocean. 5-year-old horse by See the Stars. Ryan Moore gets leg up for Sir Michael Stout. The horse's most recent outing came the 26th of April at Sandown. 1 mile, 1/4 in the Group 3 Gordon Richards Stakes. He won by 2 1/4 lengths. He was 83 cents a dollar. Nobody should have beat him, and nobody did. He quickened up nicely. It was a very good run there off the break. Before that, he ran the Group 1 Champion Stakes at Ascot, 1.25 miles, October the 20th, on very heavy ground. He just was second behind Cracksman, who loved the wet going and just loved that whole Ascot. This horse just wasn't getting him. It wasn't the day to win. And then the 8th of September, Kempton, 1.5 miles in the Group 3 September Stakes. He finished behind another Gosden horse by the name of Enable that day. This horse just couldn't get the jump on Enable. It wasn't the day to win, even with the heavyweight there. And then before then, the King George at Ascot in the summer. This horse ran a very good second place finish behind Poet's Word, who I believe is going to be targeting a race in the near future. I can't remember what it was. I saw it in the Racing Post earlier this week, but Poet's Word word after that, ran massive races, especially in ARC. But this horse, he just couldn't get to him at the end, but it ran a good race. Crystal Ocean won the Alrain last year here in Newbury very nicely by half a dozen. Then went on to win at Royal Ascot. I think he's coming this race well again. I think he'll run well. 1-2, I'll take him. But say he doesn't show up. Just say that random thing. He just loses it today. I think Red Verdon's coming this race well. The 6-year-old gelding by Lemon Drop Kid. Ocean Murphy's having a good week so far. Gets leg up for Ed Dunlop. The horse's most recent outing came at Newmarket 2 weeks ago, a mile and a half in the Group 2 Jockey Club Stakes, where he finished 5th by 14 lengths behind Communique. He was just never there. First off the break, he needed the race. I think second here off the break, back to Newbury, a lesser quality kind of ground for him to go on. I think he'll run well. Lesser quality ground as in lesser it's a little bit of a fairer track for him. I don't think he's a rally mile kind of horse. Before that, he ran Doncaster, mile and a half in a Class 2 conditions race, and he loved that going. Won by 1 1/4 lengths, quickened up nicely. He was much the best there. And then before then, Hong Kong Voss, or the race out, he just was facing tougher horses there. And you could say the same for the race before in the Caulfield Cup. Tougher horses never got into it. But, I think he'll get the mile and a half today. And if there's going to be a horse that could upset, I think he can as 15-1. So I might do a small each way wager on him also for some insurance, like they say, but I'll definitely use him in the place pod. But to recap my selection for the second, the 225 from Newbury, it's the Group 3 Rayyan Stakes, going to take the 2-horse Crystal Ocean, and as a price play, I would use the 6-horse Red Verdon. I would go 2-6-1 in the Cash Trifecta. So now let's get to the fourth race, the 340 from Newbury, which is the featured Group 1 Lockinge Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $448,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 14 horses going 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground here of 1 mile on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go to the number 5 horse, Mustachari. I'm going to go 5-10-3 in the Cash Trifecta. 5-10-3 Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 5-horse Mustatari. 6-year-old gelding by Tampa Hughes here. Jim Crowley gets the leg up for Sir Michael Stout. The horse's most recent appearance came during the Craven meeting at Newmarket, the 18th of April. Newmarket, 1 mile 1/8, 1,800 meters in the Group 3 Earl of Sefton Stakes. He finished third by 3 3/4 lengths at 10-1. He never quickened up, but he never weakened out of it either. He just kind of stayed the trip. First off the break, probably need the run. I think second off, he should just run a lot better. Before that, he ran a Churchill 1 mile November the 3rd in the Brews Cup Mile. He, that day he had a wide poster and he finished 11th by 3 3/4 lengths. It wasn't the day to win. He just kind of weakened out of it. Don't think he liked the wet ground. And then the Group 2 Joel Stakes here in Newmarket, 1 mile 10th 28th. He won by half length. As the favorite, he quickened up nicely and it was a very good run. And then the Park Stakes at Doncaster going 7/8. He won by a neck, beating a good horse by the name of Dubai Home. And that day he was all out, but he still held on. He's going to be stepping up in some major class today, but he loves the mile trip. He'll love the going, and I think he's sitting on a good run. Like I said, his Earl Sefton race wasn't half bad. So, like I said, he's sitting on that good run. I'll take this 6-year-old gelding. Another horse I would use here as a bit of a price play, a lot of a price play, definitely a horse you're going to use on the place pot, would be the 10-horse Sir Dancelot. This 5-year-old gelding by Sir Prancelot. Gilles Massé, the veteran, gets the leg up for David Ellsworth. This horse hasn't been seen since the Group 1 Hong Kong sprint at Sha Tin. 6 furlongs December the 9th. He finished 11th by 4 3/4 lengths. He beat 1 horse home. It just wasn't the day to win sprinting. I like they're going up to a mile trip here today. I think he's been crying out for that, and I think he has good posture, and I think he get a piece of it. I think he has the speed to win here on the front end. Before that, Ascot 6 furlongs in British Champion Sprint. He finished 5th by 3 1/4 lengths there, and again, he just never got into it. It wasn't the day to win. And then the Prix La Forêt at Longchamp, 7 furlongs on yielding ground on the 7th of October. He finished 5th by 2 1/4 lengths. He was drawn too wide that day, but he stayed well and had a decent turn of foot. And then throughout the race at Haydock in the Sprint Cup, he was on very heavy ground, in which I don't think he liked, and he never got into it. His wheels were spinning. His last victory came in the Hungerford Stakes at Newbury here last year, going 7/8 of a mile, and he won by 1 1/4 lengths, and that was his best race of the year, I thought. Quickened up nicely. It was a very good run. I like him coming up to 7 to a mile trip today. He has a good post draw. I think that does scare me. He hasn't had a race so far this year, and I like when a horse comes into this big kind of Group 1 race. I like them to have a race under his belt for the season. He doesn't, but like I said, he's going to want the mile trip. He's going to get it today, and at 20-1, he's a horse I'll definitely do a price play each way wager on, and definitely use him on the place pod. But to recap my selection for the 4th, the 340 from Newbury, it's to Group 1 Lockinge. Top selection, I'm going to take the 5-horse Mustateri. As a price play, I'll use the 10-horse Sir Dancelot, and I'll go 5-10-3 in the Cash Trifecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and check out my Preakness Day preview video. Good luck, everybody.